Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we break down the latest news and bring you the most up-to-date information. I'm your host, Walter. Today, we're diving into a complex and developing story involving international relations, global markets, and the ongoing tensions between the U.S. and Iran. As reports emerge of potential peace talks between the two nations, the situation remains precarious, with fresh hostilities and uncertainty surrounding the vital Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. has launched new airstrikes in southern Iran, while the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps claims to have fired at multiple U.S. aircraft after they entered Iranian airspace. Despite these escalations, there's a sense of optimism that a peace deal may be within reach. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has cautioned that any agreement would likely take a few days to finalize, and key sticking points remain, including Tehran's $24 billion in frozen assets and its reluctance to allow free passage through the strait. The impact on global markets is already being felt, with oil prices dropping on optimism about a potential peace deal. Brent crude has fallen to near $98 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate is around $92. The situation is being closely watched by investors and analysts who are eager to see how events unfold. It's a delicate and complex situation, with many factors at play. We'll continue to monitor the developments and bring you updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that the path to peace will be challenging, but there's hope that a resolution may be on the horizon. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into a fascinating discussion about retirement planning and financial security. Our listener, Andrew, has a significant nest egg of $7 million, but he's wondering if it's enough to retire at 50 without having to work part-time. This sparks an interesting question. What does it really take to retire comfortably, and how do we determine that magic number? To put this into perspective, let's consider the current economic landscape. We have two stories that caught our attention today. First, Argentina's market is experiencing a surge in demand for dollars, which could lead to inflation and affect retirement savings. On the other hand, the global clean energy manufacturing supply far exceeds demand, leading to lower renewable energy prices. These factors can impact Andrew's retirement plans and investment strategies. In the case of Andrew's $7 million, it's essential to consider various factors, such as his lifestyle, expenses, and investment returns. A general rule of thumb is the 4% withdrawal rate, which suggests that Andrew could safely withdraw $280,000 per year from his nest egg without depleting it too quickly. However, this amount may not be enough to cover his living expenses, especially if he wants to maintain a certain standard of living. Ultimately, whether Andrew needs to work part-time to afford retirement at 50 depends on his individual circumstances and financial goals. It's crucial for him to assess his expenses, create a sustainable budget, and explore investment options that can generate steady income. Perhaps consulting a financial advisor could help him make a more informed decision. As we continue to explore the complexities of retirement planning, it's clear that there's no one-size-fits-all solution. Welcome back to Concrete Block. As we wrap up today's show, let's dive into the latest developments from around the globe. We've got a plethora of stories to cover, so buckle up. First off, it seems like the European Union is abuzz with activity. Albania has made significant strides in its EU accession talks, meeting interim benchmarks under Cluster 1, which covers rule of law and democratic reforms. Prime Minister Edi Rama expressed his optimism, stating that Albania is closer than ever to joining the bloc. Meanwhile, in France, the 2027 presidential election is already heating up. A recent poll puts far-right leader Jordan Bardella in the lead, with centrist former PM Edouard Philippe and hard-left veteran Jean-Luc Mélenchon trailing behind. It's still early days, but this one's definitely a race to watch. In Sweden, the government has announced a package aimed at cushioning the economic fallout from the Middle East conflict. The plan includes allowing regions to have monthly public transport fares, as well as support for agriculture and domestic aviation. It's a move that's expected to help households cope with rising fuel prices. Over in Spain, former PM José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero's testimony in the Plus Ultra bailout case has been postponed until June 17, 18. Zapatero is under investigation for alleged influence, peddling, and money laundering linked to the airline's pandemic-era state rescue. In other news, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has called for stronger counter-drone and early warning systems along NATO's eastern flank. This comes after recent drone incidents in the Baltics, and von der Leyen has proposed a joint regional assessment coordinated with NATO to identify gaps and speed up support. Lastly, it's worth noting that Italy's Messina Bridge project has hit EU legal hurdles, while Brussels is weighing broader food origin labeling. And in Cyprus, discussions are ongoing among EU capitals over a common candidate for the strategically important role of FAO Director General. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.